So thank you, Lex, the privilege of love. So if you've gone beyond the privilege and you've found somebody that you think that you're in love with, or you really know that you're in love with, and they're in love with you, what comes next? How do you make it last? Well, enduring love, sadly, is not a fairy tale. And I feel like I'm going to be the witch tonight to kill romance. So I do apologise for that. So if enduring love is not a fairy tale, where does that leave us? Well, you've been sold a fantasy. Hollywood love songs. We've just had the annual Heart Fest that is Valentine's Day. And this is the fantasy that we've been sold. So if it's sold a fantasy, what is the fantasy? Well, it's fireworks, fate, forever, forever, because that's what we want. We want what we have to last forever. But what if that story is actually the problem? What if the story of forever is where we're going wrong? What if that is the most dangerous lie? Because love is not a feeling. I'll just say that again. Love is not a feeling. And all of you are going, well, somewhere here in my heart, I felt it. It lives here. Love is here. It's not a feeling, because feelings spike and feelings fade. So if love were a feeling, well, it would never last. I got here tonight and I had a feeling of hunger. I had a really nice hot sandwich and the feeling was gone. You know? So hold that in mind. It's not a feeling. Love is something else. And if you listen to some of my other, particularly my last talk at the sex lectures, I'm going to reference what I use to describe love again tonight. So this is what love actually is. Two definitions that I hold to be true and I use with all of my work, whether that's couples, in polyamorous relationship diversity, same-sex couples, etc. Love is the enduring investment in another person's well-being. The short definition that I also use is, love is, I hurt when you hurt. Love isn't intensity, it's responsibility. I told you I was going to kill it, didn't I? Who wants any more responsibility? I want to be loved. I want to be showered with affection. I want all of my validation needs met. And I want this fantastic feeling in my chest to last forever. It's not intensity, it's responsibility. Ugh. Okay. But why do we crave it to be forever? Well, we do crave it to be forever because this feeling that we're getting from this person that we love, that loves us, that's mirroring us, that's giving us needs that we long to have met. As Lex referenced in her talk, this absolute sense of security and attachment is wired in us from the very, very beginning. So we crave that forever because we're born wired for love, joy, and connection. And when we meet somebody and we fall in love, we're getting the love, joy, and connection needs met on a level of intensity that we find intoxicating. The song "Love is the Drug" comes to mind. We crave forever, but love strips you of your armor. It hurts to love. I'm going to give you a quote. When I watched a documentary about Susan Sontag, and I had to rewind and scribble down this quote, because you know sometimes you hear something, it's like such a smack in the face. So I'm going to read you the quote. It hurts to love. It's like giving yourself to be flayed and knowing that at any moment the other person may just walk off with your skin. Oosh. See, I told you I was going to kill romance for you tonight. So, okay, no hearts and flowers in this talk. Okay. So somebody might walk away with your skin. This is what love is. It's not intensity, it's responsibility. And permanence demands your vulnerability, that at any point the other person can take your skin. So if you want it to last forever, if you want something that's going to be permanent, it's going to demand your vulnerability and it's going to strip away your armour. Romance is not love. We just had Valentine's Day, so let's just talk for a moment about romance. Romance is biology and projection. It's your own hormonal, lovely soup of biology with a great big massive amount of projection. Love is ethics and choice. And that's something completely different. So let's separate romance and love. Romance, biology and projection. Love, ethics and choice. Romance feels effortless. How easy it is to splash on some perfume and put on the lipstick and go out, Christina, all happy, anticipation of the date. As a long-time single, there's still a little part of me that gets a flutter now and again and enjoys the romance of the idea. So romance can feel effortless. It's getting dressed up. It's thinking about the underwear. It's thinking about the laughter and the touch and the eye gazing. It's that beautiful connection. Effortless, joyful. Love really is effortless. Let's talk about limerence. When we've gone beyond into the romance and we're into it, what really is limerence? It's obsession in disguise. It's I have locked onto you and you are giving me all of this and I am in this wonderful soup with you and it feels so great. Limerence, obsession in disguise. It's dopamine fantasy, hyper-focus. I'm so sorry. I wish I wasn't killing it for you all, but we don't see the person. We see who we hope they are. We see who they hope we are. And again, there's a little part of me that likes the dope that I can be at times when I've fixed my eyes upon another and I'm living in that hyper-intense romance soup. I have a faraway voice that says, watch out, Bebs, watch out. And then I have this foolish romantic in me that says, oh, just enjoy it. But let's remember that limerence is obsession in disguise. So what then does happen when the high wears off? When the high wears off, the nervous system calms down and the intensity drops. And for the people that come to see me to work through their relationship challenges, it can be that the intensity dropped off so long ago that there is a feeling that there is no way back. And we call this falling out of love. But actually, falling in love and falling out of love are ridiculous terms for describing what love really is. Love is something that is stripping away your armour. It requires your vulnerability and your permanence. It requires you to show up and to see what is really in front of you. So falling in and out of love are useless terms for us to navigate the topic of enduring love. The intensity drops off and the panic sets in. If it's real, it should stay electric. Why isn't it? Why don't I feel like I used to feel? What is wrong with us? Where did we go wrong? And if it takes work, it must be wrong. The amount of people who come to see me who believe that everything is wrong because they're having to work at it. And they've had to come and see me. They're sitting in front of me. And it's like, well, we're doomed, aren't we? We've had to come and see a therapist, you know. These beliefs are what really destroy relationships. Because we start to get one foot out of the door. And this is where it gets dangerous. Because even though we can be really logical and practical and believe that with some work we can get it back, there might still be hanging on that painful attachment to romance and intensity and the dopamine and the connection that we craved in the beginning. The panic sets in and the belief destroys the relationship. The commitment is where the lie ends, or where it should end, because the fairy tale stops before the reality begins. Struggle isn't failure, it's where love starts. When enduring love feels impossible, it's because we never learned how to fall. We never learned how to stay. And staying requires skill, not chemistry. And in relationship therapy, we start to learn the skills. And it's costly, because people in relationships who are struggling, they need to learn to repair instead of taking revenge out on each other. They need curiosity about the person in front of them and who they are now instead of control. We need to choose care when ego wants to win. You know, I've said in heterosexual couples, quite often, the man wants solutions and the woman wants you to take her side. She wants you to hear her. So quite often we get into these ego battles. But what if it really is time? Because love is not self-erasure. It's not martyrdom, and it's not tolerating harm. The investment includes your own well-being. And sadly, I have sat across many a couple, and the relationship has ended right in front of my eyes. So sometimes it ends. If staying requires disappearing of self, it isn't love. And endings are not always failures. They can be acts of integrity. So what does enduring love really look like? The fantasy collapses, reality is revealed, and you stay with your eyes open. There are no guarantees, but you're still choosing each other. Love won't save you from pain. It will expose you to it. And you choose it anyway. And that's what it takes for enduring love. I have some enduring loves in my life, and I'd like to finish by sharing what has endured in my life. I am single. I have known lots of love in my life. I have an enduring love for my 4 children who often take away my skin. I have an enduring love for my fabulous group of friends, some of whom are in this room, and you know who you are. That is real love that I have for them. I have an enduring love for Liverpool Football Club, which often takes away my skin. And I have an enduring love for the city of Liverpool where I was born. And I reflected on these enduring loves when I was preparing this talk. Thank you.